Yeni agye anopei mo se me sremene me papa Osofo Michael Agyakwa Bossman. Enti mpese me ye very ecclesiastically right. Me from the Right Reverend Michael Bossman. And I say Agyakwa Bossman. Ya na Agyakwa no mpese e be ye free mu. Osofo ye mo akwaba eba sorry na shrine.
Yeah, near church TFO nyina so. Ma official pa.
De rade ase. Ahwefo baby a yedu ye ba bedro suko na yatena ase. Se de mu se sofo pani atena ase na ensem a akoso wo Methodist asori mu abra na ye camera na iso na ye ka se ka sofo betimi kura anka yemfamfi Winneba conference ye call ye 2022 ni yemfamra ya na nipa bebre bisa se nsem we koso ewo asafonimu no edu bebi edu head office na edu diocese edu circuit kra entai nu form ho ene de nyame adom ye nya akwanya se sofo be chirichiri yemu na nsem akoso ewo asafonimu no ode atudwa ya ma sofo kwan so timi biebie book mu sofo oye sofo books obiebie books mu Methodist conference twere for penny. So if he opens his book so rightly said and done. So for your some akwaba bi.
Yeah.
Methodist for class ye ka say conference and I say EGPC de ade.
Ye ka say mima TFO achibio mama official pa. Se meta for ye ka say conference na tre Methodist asori mu mpanyimfo nyina ye di ehia. Na ye bobo asore no dwumedie a yaye afie twemu a besi sa conference ye bo hu enkonta nti e ba ne sa impanyimfo te say ye presiding bishop ni na boafo am head office lay president ni admin bishop any general directors nyina chairman of general directorates any directors of the various advisory teams and you were delegation from every diocese in so you were 21 dioceses into bia ye mano nipadudu bi asofo any lefo a so modeba ni nyina yepe ensa ni nyina yepe enti gina diocese na hoodin ni kese se ne etie ni ye mawo nipadudu a so moba se bia nkran se ni ama nipa be se dubaako eka bishop ni lay chairman senior secretary and treasurer we automatic members no na say omo nyina aba conference ma ye nyina nti we have representation from every diocese plus all the directors and general directors of conference who meet together to report during the conference what has happened, what they have done. We have a review of what we have done during the year. And then we look forward to what is ahead.
Agyakwa na ye kaimo say eye Osofo Michael Agyakwa Bossman oye the administrative bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana ne kasa. So for nti ye kasa obi administrative bishop wa ne dwuma ne den.
Oh yeah, council be administrative bishop and it say oh yeah, sorry nyina church for say na okay. Oh no church and near ma to say conference and say expanded GPC and GPC General Purposes Council omu hia ho dwumedi a ombedi adwene ombefa the decisions that are taken on the say or church ni nyina na ohwe say sa decisions na say epo a asori no eboye no ye ho adwuma e wo diocese mu nti oni presiding di ho nkita ho na wama diocese ni nyina ehu say say na ye kan wo conference ase nti ese say obia hwe say odi ho dwuma na ba ne report mu akosi the following year no ye bu ho nkonta nti will be to say book of resolutions.
Okay.
Emma ye to me ye major decisions are ye taking nyina wo conference and expanded GPC no ye true ni nyina nti ye fi conference pa eba pe na say ye keka saa ensem ni nyina bo mu tro no say krata na ye de command house ni nyina obia oye asori panyi onye bi na odi ye adwuma if say directorates ahuru ni nyina decisions I take here ewo conference ni nyina ya chiro ni nyina oboku
so for okasa no oka GPC EGPC ana conference enso so ya edemu ye de
means chassis enfi conference conference no na ya asori nyina ti nti no say asori be di dwuma bi ana be take decision bi a ekoye nima ye nyina ekikire yen we are bound by conference decision. That's the highest decision making body of the church.
Good. So the conference is the highest decision taking body of the church. So conference is bigger than the presiding bishop and the admin bishop.
Exactly. As we are functionaries and now officials of the conference. But the conference is the larger body. And when you take it decision, you know, say me administrative bishop me will be big me cannot conference G2 na conference na G2. And yes say me na me see yen on betumi aboma se ba to actually. Oh na mo nia ye nyina be G2 no say we ne de conference can final na akata obia so esese obia di so. Na eno etwemu a ye wo conference ye na ye wo non-conference ye. Ye biennial conferences into no afi we year 2023 ye non-conference ye. Into non-conference ye expanded GPC. Na metumi a church mu na je say agise me church GPC ni mu so. Into General Purposes Council no ye nipa ko kakra presiding in executive da no eka bishops ni lay chairman ni senior secretaries ni treasurers and general directors nyina any some directors and directors nyina and some chairman of general directorates members of the GPC ye adwuma in between conference no say sorry into me transia say conference mra ansa ne akodi asem bi hu nkomo ne to hu anamo in between conferences we do have the GPC acting on behalf of conference nti decision bia here say sorry take anasa omo ye na ye ma asori no kwa anim no sa decision no GPC can no more here on behalf of conference. Did you say the conference? My conference. To me in the meantime, no, maybe the year you say emergency. Na say the year you could say conference be do normal report to say in between conference. I say this year na say ni aye no. Enti say bia me more example ba ko say commissioning of ministers. In June. Ye no after conference. Ye in June. Into the Trinity. For a church or money may we near you on all the various tests no we are na ye commissioning no GPC mahon kwai ma ye GPC ye G2 say ye commissioning na presiding akwaye GPC no to ye we a ye conference and he report to say ye
senior so for ye GPC saying and sana conference do na GPC
kote bia ye GPC ba ko to say March your GPC. July, your GPC. And November, your GPC. And so share conference year your March, July, and November GPC. March and July and year before conference. So be share documents near the Bibia March to me and July will take care of it and sana conference. To me conference share near ma ye koka ho asem conference. Yes ye nim betumi agua betumi akase bi na ye conference wie so a November GPC ne ye hwe near ma ye fi conference time August. Normally August 3rd week in August no. BC November no ye be GPC ne hwe niema ye ne ahwe animu so ne ese ye eka ho ne de koye animu nti GPC non conference ye ne de yen sheda any July GPC.
Okay.
Your March GPC and November GPC. July GPC ni say nti ni say nia yede expanded GPC na eno a na yedi hundwuma o March GPC.
Okay.
Nti no uko July a saa asem kro na obekọ akoka nti na aye say o say wo bre ene papers ni ekeka ho nti saa na etie.
So wansa na yebekọ eye senti a ene ya frɛ sɛ yebe no bedi nkomo yenim sɛ ye wo synod soso enti synod soso eye omode a eye various dioceses so na ye ka kyerɛ ahwɛfo sɛ enche bia yebɛfrɛ bishops ni bi na the course so wo diocese momo so e de atudwa. So very soon we are going to place a call to some of our bishops so they can also tell us on some of the reflections in the various dioceses in the year that has just passed. Also for now make a synod. What is synod? What constitutes synod?
Okay. And sana no ba kwa meja wo ni say we administrative bishop SO 14 ni kire say one of your duties ni say any other assignment presiding the bema on excuse me, I know so can we adwuma ho nti enye conference adwuma nkwa say church na mu bibia presiding bishop presiding bema say ye we ma conference no you are bound to do that. And so synod no to say na conference no synod ye wo societies ahoro wo kambo mu a no ma ye circuit circuit ahoro wo kambo mu a na aye diocese a particular area into for instance wo fa eastern region area bi to say odan ye wo diocese wo uko Kofodia New Dwaben ye wo diocese wo uko Nkokwa ye wo diocese wo uko Somenya ye wo diocese wo enso ni nyina wo within eastern region say ye diocese ni ye societies omo ye circuits na circuits dodo a was our area nam and a boom na ye diocese na sa diocese ni Asia omo meeting your friend is synod na no ni the highest decision making body in the diocese. Senior conference here the highest decision body of the church, the whole connection no sana synod so the highest decision making body of the diocese, each diocese.
Okay. Also for dase bebre afi ye nko ne nkonko hwe ye fi Winneba conference ana edi aba bewura afi a ye yakọ na wie ye mu.
That's right.
Winneba conference inim say the church took some very important decisions. Can you highlight a few of them? Edi aba bewura afi a enti ye yakọ na wie ye.
Well, 2022 conference wo Winneba no. Niema kakra ekomum. One of the most important year yinyina ejitum ye the strategic plan of the church. Say ye di adwuma. Ya ye ho adwuma be 2 years preceding 2022. In the 2022 conference esisudua say strategic plan no fe de ye di adwuma. Strategic plan no eye nhyehyɛ a asɔre no akwadam ahwehwɛ mu ahwɛ sɛ saa enema wei na ɛbɛboa yɛn yɛde asi ani so sɛ yɛbɛma asɔre no akɔ n'anim sɛ bia ministries yɛka ministries a adwuma a ɛwɔ asɛmpatrɛ adwuma asɔfoɔ nteteɛ leefoɔ nteteɛ nkwadaa nteteɛ ne nyinaa gye sɛ ordained ministry, lay ministry, evangelism mission and renewal and children's ministry. In nyina so ne ye pese evangelism zeal no ekwa anim nti one of the things ye boss so pa any say asempatre na say ekwa ye anim nti no at least circuit bia momodin say afi bia obetumi abie one new society and we ba kwa ye de esi obi ani so say onye asempatre no adwuma iyi na ma nipa bebre ehu Eradi Yesu Christo eno ne yembo taipa wo asempatre dwumadie mu se yebema nipa hu Yesu ewa asoremu nti no yesie no so ginae na ada nti yewo various targets yen strategic plan no or set out. Ebia under every directorate, say ministries directorate, there were targets. And you ba kope, uko financer, there were targets. Uko social service, there were targets. Uko education and youth, there were targets. Ma ubia. And for instance, uko education and youth, mranti eni ma beduma. One of the things that conference see should be can pass our ministry to young people in the tertiary institutions near the end and year in the past. Into as part of the strategic plan, as I see ye ni kun emranti ni maba to medie wasorimu in kanka mu institutions say universities any colleges of education money ade sa group no see my ni ministry to the place and so ye shene din ye shemu kinapa enti see nya software on be ye nchire ni ade uba finance can giving once tight and senior ye expect sem kofo bibre bet your time do this enti na akobase as part of the targets no say ye intensify in teaching on giving in general. Buama targets no yetu into strategic plan no ye a major decision making na at the conference no so ye G2 mu say North America diocese as say afi de time aso say ye be ye no diocese onye mission bio or ye diocese into no so it ye di ho dwuma and many other memorials by ye G2 mu omo ko diocese omo ye on diocese to say North America any circuits ahoro omo ko full circuit status omo nyina ye G2 omo endorse nti mintumi nkane nyina but me boss say sa decisions ni nyina ye take and it say sa circuits na ya gye atum ni diocese ya gye atum no omo di mu omo nso a ye ma omo tena ba bia omo te if say modern na nkwa anim no na ye say afiwe omo kenya ho na omo atumi akọ anim abaye circuit na process no ABC into no udu see na it is why full circuit
so for your that now finally let's enter into the year 2023 na yen shase. Will you say the year 2023 has been a good one? What will be your overall assessment?
Well, 2023 a fairly good year with a lot of struggles.
Yes. Okay.
Titru enema bebre ankoso because ye sikasem na anko ye. Na ye sikasem anko ye no so na emfi asori per se. The after effects of COVID-19 ni especially 2023 the economic downturn no. Edu baby na you see the no me ni America baby oko na no anu so oko uso mu anso enti ema niema ese nkofo bibre adwuma ekofem ebinmo adwuma eseye ne ade enti eba ne sa asormeya na eye sa ndwuma adwuma ahoroa wo mo ye no enti no affect omo sika omo to be de support sorry edu baby kra na sorry kono kra ayedin microphone to me ma sorry senior ese inti no ema yen sikasem generally you will say yen sikasem no even our targets expected targets for the various dioceses no not one diocese not one
in a meeting
in a to me meeting in target sikafem
wow
not one. But if as empatre eduma no omo bomodin kakra omo bomodin kakra so was me assessment
no
nti enye fa akogwa
da ye ko assessment nti so for me twa akwachi kakra sikasem de ba form kakra but the rade boy but the ba asempatre na no epeja ni mu kakra de
epeja ni mu kakra but there's still more to be done nti no hwe ye effort ni ade a on put in say growth kakra by say about 2.9%, almost 3% growth in the statistics. Into at least this year to be baseline beer. Unlike before, you say 589, 800 and something, 626. Yeah, the NCC there, to be kasi beer 909 globally. Methodist Church Ghana. over 900,000 people, close to 1 million.
Okay.
Over 1,000 are outside Ghana. And we have over 31,000 from Gamsu alone. And others we have not been able to capture. And so 260,000. As I say, to me, so we have been trying to reach out to the interdenominational and non-denominational churches. And see, we hope say there will be more improvement. Churches ni be dioceses ni be, and to me, ankwe nim papa in terms of evangelism. No, ankoye baby oha instead of just yesinya one society no omanya.
And so what was the problem? It didn't no man to man come and said ye na say kono.
Well, it be various reasons. It be oha one not so municipality.
Okay.
Be a say why you choked dada. Intino so o say be a so na edi. But yen si won kwan say
maybe at a set tema
ana nkran na unya baby a wo no eho nyina ayema asorebo baby a. But me kai very well say ye ma ho kwan say you don't have to start a church where you are. You can start a church anywhere. After all, Papa Joe Wesley or the sorry, ebe share konyi or the pray. Oh no, I see the whole world is my parish. Inti baby inti me kai say Calvary, I see Adabraka Calvary. One more koye asori wo water region baby could be a society me refi asori anything, but at least they made the effort organize omo ho eko di na wo ho e bia sorry a crusade near there house to house near there. That's what we are talking about. Right. Inti efforts no should not be restricted to baby awo nipa wo baby a inti they say utumi ko baby a nipa wo na be to me aye inti no we still expect more from the various dioceses. Baby o man to me are more humodin be o ha na follow up and ankoyi was started church no na so follow up inti no ama church no egu anasa ayemre na omoko other places e bi nso ha na ye lack of infrastructure, and that was one of the things we mentioned at conference 2022 Winnipeg conference.
Infrastructure to say be asore dying
na baby asofo betna baby mofra besum nya de sa young people's services ya hifa no mbeye no bi o ha asore mu na kasa umuni asore dan na ya kan campese ye ko hwehwe bia ma nkwala ene mrantie inti no infrastructural gap ni inti etumi ebinim ko share asore ase but ubehwa na asore fufuro me bodin bia yo asore fufuro
umodi
akoye akosi asore dan aye ben mete na enkrofo nyina akoho oho obi a pa asore dan mu atra ntu behwe no na enkrofo na ekonya ono fa ko asore fufuro. That was a very sad day. Now it happened in many places and it's still happening. Into no, the church is struggling with the infrastructural gap. Say sorry ahua yatia umuni asori da omo bro 1,000 at the last conference no omo bro 1,000 inti nde ne be na yeguzo ti asori inti it means the number is increasing ye be den na yetumi inti esidan bibri ama asori bia yeti no eno a big task na yade ba ko eda ye presiding bishop akoma so ba say say ye work hard towards it into wa can say ye ndwe ho say e be set some mission fund and say some kind of fund bia ye nyina be contribute towards na ye de SCCC dan apart from MDF, because MDF nkwa Methodist Development Fund no and nkwa to me ye say adwumadi what was that for you crowd ya dane
okay so for ye kwa homa ne so aba ye ba say ministries ni ye ken ye wi a ye be ko social service ni our health ni agric ye wi so ana ya ba youth and education after the finance kwa wi osofo Matthew Zikpi osofo Bubutoleke.
Okay, me follow.
Me follow. Apo talk ata fo a.
Yo, akata fo ma maneuver.
Akona ma o. Osofo, telephone Ajia.
Barakwe.
Yo, Osofo, we want to see and know some of the activities that occurred in your dioceses for purposes of language. You can miss the tree, some Ewe and English as well. What were some of the major things? By the way, how many years have you been a bishop?
I've been a bishop for 1 year.
Okay, all right. Bishop, let's hear you, sir.
Thank you very much. As the year 2023 began, we knew that our officers of the various coordinating offices should be trained. And as we started, though finances was difficult for us, we were able to sponsor people from the various coordinating offices to attend the seminars and workshops that were held by the various various directorates of the conference office. So we were able to do that, and it is still helping us today. We also wish to inform you that the various circuit camp meetings went on very effectively. Circuit our wo camp meetings so you can vida vana circuit awo epese me kire say camp meetings akoso
Osofo mabi anyaro camp meeting na Osofo allergia
mereko malaji
camp meeting owela hoa diocesan headquarters owela.
Hello
Mabade camp meeting Africa owela. Where was the camp meeting done? Was it done at the diocesan head office?
Yeah,
I mean the diocesan.
This one, the camp meetings were done at the various circuits level.
Various circuits. Okay. All right.
Yes, circuit
Okay.
level.
All right.
At the diocesan level, we held crusades and revivals.
Okay.
At the diocesan level. We also want to state that evangelism consultation was held so that we could be in line with the strategic plan of 2023.
Also, what will you consider as your major success for the whole diocese, and especially for your being on the throne for 1 year? What will you consider as your major success?
Our major success is that the crusades and the revival that were held, we got converts for the societies and the circuits. That is one. 2, 3 churches were planted. 3 churches were planted at Breweniase, Amesu, and Damabe. We also looked at induction of the senior secretary and then 3 superintendent ministers. Yeah, there is also a program on entrepreneurship in collaboration with Ghana Library Board, and it is affecting us positively. As we went on seminars and workshops,
I think you are really giving us
and other things.
Bishop.
And this has come to help us how our organization
Bishop, can you hear me, please?
Coordinating office should write reports.
Bishop.
We also had workshops for evangelists and caretakers.
Bishop, can you hear me?
Yes.
I was saying that it appears you have so much information for us. We are going to invite you to the studios to give us some of these things so we can have whole in perspective and we can gradually break.
The line is breaking.
Bishop,
yes.
Is it better now?
Speak on.
Nyanko Semfia. So, Bishop, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, now I can hear
All
you.
right, thank you very much. So I was saying that it appears you have so much under your sleeves to share. So we will give a special invitation to you so you can come to the studios. But in conclusion, what are two major...
The line is very, very faint.
Okay,
Call
producers,
me on the,
please.
On the MTN, let me see.
Okay, producers, please work it out for me. That PS Bishop's phone is not helping. Also, for also from the studio, we've been looking at some of the challenges of the dioceses, especially who. From your office, what are some of the challenges of whole diocese now?
Well, the first thing is that Ho used to be a mission area.
Okay.
And being a mission area, the financial strengths of the societies and circuits have not been of the best.
Okay.
So financially, they have been a little handicapped all along. But nonetheless, that is a very big area that needed to be broken off from Tema Diocese so that you have closer pastoral supervision. That was one of the aims. It wasn't a fact that, oh, they don't have money, so let's wait until they have money before we break off. But rather, let's get the administrative leadership and pastoral care in place so that they can be helped. They can be helped at closer quarters to reorient themselves and put things in place that will enable them be financially strong. That's what they are trying to do with these entrepreneurship programs. I think that that's one of the major things that is a handicap to the holders.
Finances and maybe infrastructural, as you
infrastructure, yes. Infrastructure, yes. They struggle to put up their cathedral to finish before the inauguration and so on. As of now, we don't have a residence for the bishop, really, you know. So the church helped to get a vehicle in place for him to use, and that has been really helpful. Otherwise, it would take them a long time for bishop to be able to move around his own diocese, let alone come for meetings, important meetings, and so on and so forth.
So we want to appeal to our church members. Presiding always say that Methodists are givers.
Yes.
As much as we are still paying for the towers, who still needs our help, especially for those of us who are Apoto, who are indigents of the land and are Methodists. Please let's try, let's mobilize some help so we can use to support the bishop's months and other infrastructural activities. Bishop, let's come to social services. What are some of the successes in social services? Social services, meaning say in social services has to do with the gender department, with that of agric, that of health. And then in the year that is.
Well, I think say generally social service, General Directorate for Social Service has done very well. They have kept the peace for themselves, set up their own targets and work towards it. They have even infused the strategic plan into their work ethic. So their reports reflect the strategic plan without asking the question, what have you done in respect of the strategic plan? So when you go to gender, for instance, gender social intervention, gender, family and social intervention, they have had some successes in terms of projects they did for some women, widows in some areas. I think Fosu and some other areas did get some funding and were able to facilitate women doing these palm oil and other soap making and so on and so forth. And there's evidence they bought machines and so on with the little help that they had from outside. And they did very well in terms of that. In addition to their workshops for women and other gender, not necessarily for women alone, but men and women. One of their conferences or workshops in Kumasi, the men's fellowship were quite represented, even though the women were overshadowed the men, but still we had the men around, and that was good. In terms of health, they are also doing very well. In fact, as at this year, we've had about three or four of our clinics and hospitals upgraded to level 3 in terms of CHAG and HIFRA
rankings,
if you like.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that is very good. It means that when you go to a hospital like Ankasi, Wenchi, the standard there is recognized everywhere in the world.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's a top standard hospital. You can get the best of care in these places without necessarily being referred. There are specialists in place and so on and so forth. So they have done very well. And as a church, with regard to this, one of the highlights had been the inauguration and dedication of the Ntefrawaso Hospital
Yeah.
at Ntefrawaso, which took place, I think, in March, 28th March, thereabouts.
Okay.
And that was a huge something because it had been there, the structures have been there for a long time. The church had not made any effort to put it in place until very recently. With the help of Bank of Ghana Hospital, we did get some equipment to the hospital. We are very grateful to the Bank of Ghana Hospital for giving us equipment, including an ambulance. Can you imagine?
Wow.
You know, so the hospital is
fully equipped.
Yes,
We
very
thank
well
them.
equipped,
We thank
at
them.
least with beds and all that.
I mean, we'll go to North America and we'll return
Right.
back to the studios. You
Right.
had said that North America has also been
Inaugurated.
inaugurated in the past 1 year.
Yes.
Their bishop is on the screen with us. Because of time differences, we had to pre-record him. And so the Right Reverend Professor Emmanuel Latte, the Bishop of the North American Diocese. Please, let's have you now.
The North American Diocese is progressing steadily, slowly. We are doing well by God's grace. Challenges that we have all encountered have been present here as well. But overall, I would say that the church has progressed significantly this year. Growth and evidence of growth in very many places within our circuits. The three circuits in in the United States of America, and then the one circuit in Canada. This has been there's been evidence of growth as well as evidence of renewal. One of the interesting things about this year is that we have also had the addition of one society in Australia. So a society in Australia has been added to our diocese. Conference directed that the society in Sydney, Australia, become a part of our diocese. And so Sydney Society is now a part of the Atlanta circuit of the North America Diocese. And we have welcomed them and are beginning to work with them. So that's a really happy development here, for which we give thanks to God. I think the greatest highlights have been camp meetings that have been diocesan camp meetings that have been hosted in each of our circuits. And I'll begin from the Washington circuit, where a diocesan camp meeting was held in Norfolk, Virginia. Now, there's a small society, Dunwell Society in Norfolk, Virginia, and they hosted the camp meeting in July, and the result of that has been the strengthening of the society. In fact, during the camp meeting, they had we had an addition of 7 new members for the church. And also as a result of that camp meeting, we have stationed a minister in Norfolk, being supported by the circuit and the diocese. And there's evidence already since that there's growth taking place there. But that was one of the results of the diocesan camp meeting that was held there. We then had also a camp meeting in East Hart, Newark, New Jersey. And again, during the time of the camp meeting, which took place from Friday through Sunday, we inaugurated some of the smaller societies in Newark, New Jersey. Wonderful opportunity for renewal, for revival, and for consolidation of the work and the extension of the work.
So that was the Right Reverend Professor Emmanuel Latte, the Bishop of the North American Diocese, giving us a review of the year 2023 from his perspective as a bishop. Osofo, any comment on what Osofo Pon has said on North America?
Yeah, I think that North America is doing well.
Okay.
It's important to put right leadership in a place.
Okay.
It helps them to be on their own, be independent, take initiative, and not be dependent on a mother church like mother conference and so on. So I think that the decision to make North America a diocese instead of maintaining the mission has given some impetus to their growth, made effort to keep themselves together. I think what the bishop said is an indication that they are working towards opening up the church in various areas and putting people in place to help. Yepa say nia omo eye no ebema asorimo atre afa bebia yewo state bibria Methodist asori enko.
Okay.
Excuse me. And yewo Methodist for ebi wo ha no mo ko asori foforo because Methodist in here. There were so many places, in fact, a big, wide, great mission field. I say a support one. Nania omo yeno etumi etumpo. And intina so a support in some way for their chapels to purchase chapels in Atlanta and Canada. With the support of the conference.
Church conference is sending money for them to be able to
actually
do that.
Did.
Okay.
So, and
that
I'm
is
sure
very important for us to know. Sorry, no timid.
Oh yes.
So they are not doing most of the things on their own. They getting support, just as all other dioceses get support from the local churches in Ghana. Very important. So for Yemra, youth and education, school courses. What has been some of the successes and the challenges within this space?
Yeba education and youth and so they are doing very well in terms of say New Year school entrepreneurship programs are year afibia no say be translating into work for some of the young people and also in-depth knowledge for quite a number of young people who attend the conferences. It's an eye-opener for such a but the young people no baby say ye come for the bia ye boho ye gamsu are doing extremely very well. Na omo size program omo ye no evangelism in various places are omo target no is helping the church a lot. Until now most dioceses have teamed up with gamsu the young people and they are working towards opening up churches. They say encourage that one of the weaknesses in the youth, the young people work, and they say, yeti se kofoka se mrantie no new churches. To some extent, no, true. To some extent, if we say ye mrante ni bi o ho a ye lay preachers a o ma akodi asore foforo mu a ya ma on post wo no maka ho na say ye ka mass exodus of youth ni there minji ndi say no credit there are still a lot of young people who are committed to the church and inti one of the highlights of 2023 Nansia any say presiding could be the Wesleyan International Society. Mranti any maba young people omunya a forum for themselves to evolve a worship service of their own liking, combining the old and the new, ancient and modern, Methodist hymns with the contemporary songs and hymns. Near catcher one say they shouldn't forget the old one. They can even change, modify the old one and sing it in a modern way, in addition to singing the other contemporary songs. Because hymns are based on scripture, on our faith. Into what I want to say, more meaningful when you understand what you are singing. And encourage you all. They are doing extremely well. In many places, they've started the Wesleyan International Society already. Even though Temane, the first one we have officially or formally inaugurated. And we hope that others will also follow suit. But there are quite a number of places. They've started this. Even though we do have a few hiccups in some
challenges, Etina Gamsu for admin bishop bomb abaso pa admin bishop bomb abaso Osofo Anochi baby I will be a Nyangopo Inshrao. Felix Gamsu National Prayer Secretary, wherever you are, God bless you. You reliably are putting together a prayer meeting that is taking place from the 3rd to 6th of January. Gamsu fu nyina mo kwa kushia na mabompaya at the appropriate time no ye the details no ebe mamo. But keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. Ashrefor na ye ka ye ho se admin bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana Anna yamano akonwa fefefe a enne yebo kompon akọ 2022 Winneba conference ne de afabo so minimu nyina na ye de aba yanimu sese yahwe ministries dwuma omudi ye yahwe social services dwuma omudi ye na afi so youth and education yahwe enche bia ye behwe finance but ansa na ye beko finance no Right Reverend Becca ewo phone so Osofo Lawrence yamo akwabo
ya minu ya mejemoso
tamalefo ehun ye
Yankopon adom ya ho ya pa
yeda erade ase anope de ye papa admin bishop ne ne no ha ye dwendwen asori ne ho o kire ye nioma ye course de ye sinto ene de ye di nkunim susu wo mu ye bepese ye betie efi ho tamalete sen what were some of the challenges and what were some of the biggest sources of the Tamale diocese?
Right. That's a pa Tamale diocese. Reflecting on our progress as a diocese in 2023, we can say that the Lord is good. Though there are challenges, and for challenges is everywhere. Psalm 118, verse 23, is saying that this is the Lord's doing. He is marvelous in our eyes, and hence we will always continue to celebrate the Lord. Now, when it comes to the area of ministry, this year, 2023, 3 of our brothers have been accepted by conference to begin their ministerial formation at the Trinity Seminary. And the Nyankopon Society about the area of evangelism, mission, and renewal, and a church planting. So, we have a growing presence as a church in the Northeast region. Now, Antissa, but now we can boast of about 6 societies in the northeast region. Now, Northeast, I'm talking about the area of Wale Wale, Gambaga, and Nalerigu. Nalerigu is the regional capital. Nyame and Atima, but there is one Ayibia that we are so excited to report. At one of the societies, Yandeni, which we reach out with church planting, the chief himself, Ohinenankasa, accepted Jesus Christ and asked to be baptized.
Wow. Praise the Lord.
And after baptizing the chief, about 22 of his elders also accepted Christ and were all baptized. At the Yandeni, the chief donated a 20-acre plot for us as a church. Now, we've been able to put up a 3-classroom block to start a school there. And as I'm speaking to you, we have about 371 children that are to begin with in this school. Now, we have heard of Boku. It is true that there are tensions and disturbances in Boku, but Nyankopɔn Adom at Garuchimpani, and one of the societies, Tampasi, there too we'll be able to start a new school there with 187 children. And this is in the Boku circuit. Though there are tension with the war, the church is not completely died off as we may think. At Pusiga, the chapel is progressing. Boko, that is Boko Society Chapel, is at roofing level. And the manse at Zibla is also at roofing level. There is one issue I was and also yetime a camp that has to do with the vocational and skill training school, which we have started in Tamale here for especially young girls who migrate to the south to do kayayi.
So it appears there is so much happening in Tamale that
I'm telling you, yes, my brother.
Yes, we will need time to do an in-depth discussion and Tamale in focus. But in conclusion, just one challenge. What do you think is your main challenge? Just one, so that we can say goodbye to you for now.
If we talk of just one challenge, in actual fact, it's based on finances. You know, we have limited resources. I think that is our main challenge.
Yeah.
Many limited resources, and sometimes not just only finance but human resources.
Okay.
But we are working towards that, especially when it has to do with human resources.
Okay, Osofo, we want to thank you so much. As I said, we will humbly invite you to the studio so we can put Tamale in perspective. Na ya read the ekoso and said the yen kind koso so be.
Right.
Yeah, that's a pa Bishop. It appears the church is doing well. But they say yeah, who de roni who de didn't. Sometimes it's as if you met this year. Look at the success story of Tamale. But osisi kasam die
na they are doing well.
Okay.
But senior osika ni nyina ejina kasam so project you can say omo year for young people ni say no. A sponsored program from some friends outside.
Okay.
And sorry, dining idea almost sini bibri wa a conference office and yes sponsor and yes support nama yet to me a roof and I say yakoye nim in many of these places. Now the Rigu Chapel ni say lay movement council led by the lay president and and that was the mandate 2022 conference presided the new lay president at that time the incoming near or the man Mr. Kwesi Atentwi and he said unia baye no wabeye damango Mr. Drew ema yesi chapel fe mission house onso wabe ye mount na lerugu inti ni oka na no kre asori nankasa botai ewo sa area ni say as far as I know me assistant to the admin bishop now I got to know this say the church had a plan say nothing Ghana esopa in fact about 1/3 of the rest of Ghana the dioceses and so now only one diocese until we should have at least 3 dioceses Tamale then east and west but for now no you are starting Waboli Gatanga which includes east and west no into no sha one supposed or proposed headquarters if you like but if you work Bolga is a big wide difference distance in terms of people coming together near there. And you know, we hope say with time you able to me support more to build chapels and manses in the place. In fact, the aim then was say asori nankasa betumi aboama yesisi manses ne ye provided some vehicles nkofo ekoha on be ma okoha na onim say was some incentive to work with and yes I will struggle if say oh yeah din kakra enti no obi koha na ye ne say ya sheda e punishing but it's not true
also for the way they waboso dey na echirichirim enti so it's not a punishment say you be fa sofo bi na because ya po no atwene
there be in fact we struggle to get people to be sent there tem bia ye dwi hu yie pa enti no no for hono ya evolve various means bia ye be ka simple anka ye ma omo a ye ya ode won foforo no omo nko ho be 2 or 3 years no maba down bio ye try say omo be ko ho no omo ba down a ye de won be ko places a ye kakra sim baby a omo akọ ewo north no but still a challenge ewo nkof mentality bi mentality bi a ebi asor na a part of it in the past say bia me de obekọ yi ne de console because why bibia emfata but that is wrong it is not so in fact see there the nipa call because we need to send people there. In fact, we need to send more people there because there are many people who don't know Christ. We need to really support Honuma mission work. No, a bit more yet. Other churches bomadi. Why not us? So, inti amaya tre eko Burkina Faso, my de asofo eko ye training was evangelist ya ji wan tum ye do wan fa.
Admin obabi aba phone so. The Bishop of Takwa, the Right Reverend Dr. Diadod. Osofo yemo akwa aba o.
Mejo so, mini anapo mo e.
Nyame adom. Takwa fo ho ye.
Adoma takwa ho ye pa.
Yo, yeah, that's it. Anope de wo papa admin bishop na ye see her ye dwendwe asori ne ho enkankan ensem a ekọ so fiti Winneba conference a ye de aba besi eye 2023 mu a ye de ekọ na wie Takwa tesen what has been your major successes as the Bishop of Takwa and what are some of your challenges?
Berate media so for ya minchira na mikia me papa admin so ya na wakate me se me train bro nya de
ono so train wo de
what ni na
okay
mikia wetie for you na
yo
yeah ye the radio say me say afi de ya me ni ye di ye pa wa Takwa diocese digiri say ye di ka ya be kan ho asempa ye afi Takwa diocese di message asofo yina ewe ye diocese mu ye January na ye di wo mo da nya ya do mo anso but I nti a asofo de ba ye no bibia for so astom bi mu emenya na eduma anso eye nkoso but so ba ye diocese mo ankasa dia ye major successes itumi choki in the year 2023 yetumi diocesan crusade ahodo be ye enum esansi ye zone ye diocese no because our Takwa diocese be a very vast diocese it take about be 4 or 5 major tribal groups Now, so the enclave is very wide into your chin into zones. Now, then the other my papa you could see that the motor is to win souls, but then also to start new churches. Then apart from what the effort and that is not a year to establish new churches there, the Gamsus who have been doing very, very well to support your mission work in the diocese. This year they were at an informed circuit for their normal size program. They were stationed at 5 places to plan churches and also start do a follow-up on some of the churches that now medical acted that also. The more I used to know, that is in the midst of our zero challenges, we were able to dedicate about 8 new chapels, 4 new manses for Asofo. Then we did foundation stone laying for new chapel buildings, about 21 of them. Over Tafada is so we started something good that before say very good for all of us to embrace. That is the my first year at school. And it did very well. The very viral or Ghana as to what we are doing to support here in schools. For here at the diocesan level, you supposed to say the diocese must not stay disconnected from your local school. But at least the schools must have a feel of the diocese. And that is why I may institute here in first day at school. I may call rounds always to visit our schools and know how the schools are doing. Infrastructure. If there's a need for us to step in to support, we do that. Because one of the schools I call here, we have to give them 50 bags of cement. As you see, the support from the diocesan office to make sure the school is also doing well. That's what that is not try to inaugurate the Kings and Queen Mothers Association. In fact, I'm also for me that's a car. I have to see
baby. Also for said you can need I said money challenges crowd. My challenge is very me
it's a challenge, the main fact is you too.
Okay.
Precisely, I hate to kakra admin so we need more ministers in the diocese.
Okay.
As I said, we have a lot of churches around societies that estimates that we hear software. But you say a software intake and distribution or connection and so. But I think that as a church, if there's a way for us to look into bridging this gap, let me have one a Jumana cost way, we can also do that. There are another major one, the GDC admin. What can want some more? I mean, so a major concern here infrastructure gap, because all these churches are doing very well, but those numbers, now how they are struggling to put up these churches are. It means that we need to do more. I have discussed 1 or 2 things, but I don't think that I will put it here on air. But I still say if the church will have to have another look at how to break it, because I have always said something to motivate us to start new churches. And if that motivation is not there, now for starting a sorrow, not the womb to me is the sorrow that in farm it becomes demotivating.
Okay.
These are the 2 things that before say if you can through the connection, you to put these things right. At the end of the day, everyone would have growth in the diocese and also in the connection.
Also for Sammy, thank you so much, Bishop. Yedase, yechia takwa for sunyina. Admin, we dey na oka. Asofo ye pe bebre na ba pa no so. So bebre so mba be exam so ani ye fail wom. Omu ntumi mma. So it appears there backlogs omu we chiro mpeso omu bam. Omu so mba so ani ye fail on ye mfa om. Pacho de na ebetimi aka kire asofo obi a kom omu would be prospective asofo bi omu nyaa nkom be ba asofo die.
Asofo ne die hia asofo na enso ye the budget na nam afi bia no.
Yeah.
In fact, the past 3 years quota finance budget we always exceed it.
Okay.
We always exceed it because presiding per se ye hun crofo mo bon ye fa won ye do on ba on board now omoko save, but yen to me for winning so if say nipa be 300 plus
each year
and na omo apply na Trinity e may 20 20 into 20 we efi 300 mukrampa na just aka 280 people to deal with and na yen to me for 280 people every year it's all fa nipa kakra company bi ani wo omo to me
nipa dodo
sa every year every year into the last commissioning we commission about 94 people it be over 84
it should be the highest 90
and you got 3 different chapels in the year commissioning this year make us say so into no yen to me fa wonyina we have been thinking of other ways e be a beboa me ya fa won nti ye ka say so obi ya mfana say asofo no boa won omo put on to use na omo eboa won ma omo tumi pass obi o ha na e bi a mass no mboso nti o ye exams na we fail o ya no we fail obi o ha ye exam be 7 times o ye bia no we fail because of 1 or 2 nti nti no na ye restriction nti twa so at ye the line to baby say be ya e betumi afa nipa kakra ye budget betumi support because ye eka kese to train people to train people eka kese pa enye trinity nkwa mpo won ma ye ti omo wo omo amadwuma na so omo asoroma omo so ye bon ho ka omo ko training workshop period twice in a year and we have assignments near there into no mi ankasa kra no ma dwen ho a me ne preside e di ho nkomo okwan e betumi afa so na etumi aye some of these things put in place di ye dwen ho na metumi aka ne say ye gusu dwen ho say be ya ye betumi anya alternative means bia nkrofo ye ntumi amfa wo no ye betumi put on to use in some way and train them outside. Now, answer no ma ye groom into the mainstream of formal training. Bibisa. You.
Sorry, no, you see, Cassam to say, na you're watching. Na ye ho kire yeso ade ene yenye we ye makamo so miensa
well ye sika sem ne de ejina sorry man so there's no two ways say sika no fi societies never enti no nia a person ye can say asori ni nye very connectional ye dwen ho as individuals bebre sin say ye dwen ho say connection enti no ehun hia say ye bomodin say ye be work as a connection na proposals ye dia to fam ewo conference no any expanded GPC ye sis no ese say sa niema no ene ye boso obi adi no kre ewom si ye di no kre a ebeboa ma ye sikasem akokan se ne ameka kan no ye launchi Wesley Towers project sebeya ebetumi di a finance new head officer yes aye krabehwe ye sikasem wo ho se aka echiri kakra bra ye expect se nkrofo be support no ambassador ne aye hwehwe ma fi ye ko expanded GPC one of the major decisions we that expanded GPC ni say why ye committee a omo hwe Wesley Towers financing di niema beko yie amaye ma ye kan se mpo ebetumi a ye set targets ema dahouses bi anti ama dahouses ni nyina targets ye sign decide say as conference expanded GPC say ye mpa afi MDF sika nyina enkowura Wesley Towers sikasem mu na afi omo pledge ni ade no so enka ho na impo target ne entumi endu a na ya sign the 50% of our harvest inti kire say utumi meet o target by any of these means money ade with the MDF yen touch will harvest. But when to me meet there for 50% of your harvest, for best support to na yen say you be to me a car if you are. In fact, ye want share that as a church. You'd be cheers SK. But it will take us some 5 to 7 years. Science share no. Nesikane wo uhwe nia esi 2023 ya. Se bi si ochna sa 5 to 7 years ebetumi adani 20 years very easily. Emma interest on sika ebetua no ebebro principal no krampo. Inti no enu nti ne yire ye ho ye mia ye ho se obi amwa obi ensom na yentumi ntua se yetumi tua within the year. We will save ourselves more than 25 million Ghana cedis. You be to me there year near Mafufro Bibre. I support to churches near there infrastructure gap any problem if we have the money. If we save this money. See and Cebu says he cannot still struggle. Inti Sika Sebnus and Crofondi no cray.
Okay.
Na yen in Shea sorry yen. Yen this if you say Crofo finding ways and means Sikana Beka on ho. Me more example back answer me trust.
Okay.
And he say obi yesi usika wenye ni nyina in terms of collection tithe monthly offering ni ekeka so mbi ni ade ni nyina kan nyina bo yen fa ne say unya 10,000 no so na obeye sa percentage wo be chichim ama percentage akọ but ebidum omo ndi no kre wo ho omo expenses omo ye within the week or so no obetie fi say sika mu ansana waka say me total ni which is wrong na je say ono nya more money in terms of percentage no sin ni aye nyina ya ka say ye nche ne pepepe no o nti ye panyansa kwan so na ye de masikanika society wo bra ka say ye nyina hu say ye connection baako say ya say na MDF ye wa ho chirimpo ne ye boa societies churches ye call COVID na ye tumi tua sofo ka wo bra sika biamba the church is doing well in terms of percentage system. This is the best system ever.
Wow.
Ever.
I mean, and some no door so basically somebody see a gemere pa but the yebre no so me say aye break akra. Ye better ye papa say. Right Reverend Michael Agyakwa Bossman the administrative bishop of the Methodist Church Ghana. Na ne obetena okonwa kese mu a yebu nkompo ahwe fiti winiba conference abesi samria ye de afi eko na wie ye nsem a akoso ye besra na papa san be kan ye nsabiem na afi nsem mienu nsem bi e kai ye bisan so for we de ni dem ye da se pa say out of your busy schedules you came to
ye ni asida ye nyina ye djuma je se hwe na ekoyi
amen ye da se pa
so ye da masese my opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Ajefo yempon dwumadie no enche bia na agofoma wo mo bom nsamra ne se agro wa so there eja. Brother Fo is in the studio and he is taking over very soon the sports segment. Please stick and stay with us.